Hi everyone, this is Aaron. In this video, I'll provide an overview of what the playlist Programming with TI is all about. And I thought the best way to do it is to give you some examples of my programs. Then you can see for yourself whether they will be useful to you. And if you think you're interested, make sure to hit the subscribe button so that you can see my future videos. Let's get started then. Okay, so just before I demonstrate my programs, I'll explain how this whole programming business will look like in the end. So after you've coded all of your programs, you can choose to save them in the library. Then you'd be able to find all of them here. And these are just the programs that I currently have on my own calculator. So let's check out calculus first. What this function does is it finds you the solid of revolution, just like this. And if you don't believe me, you can just plug in the formula and verify that for yourself. You'll see that this is the actual volume. And next, let's check out this one, which is pretty cool, I have to say. So what this thing does is it will find you the stationary points of a given function. Boom. So now we know that this is a local maximum and this is a local minimum of this function. Right, now let's check out Cartesian. I want to draw your attention to this function, which is the distance between 2 points. So if you want to find the distance between the origin and, I don't know, 3, 4, it will tell you that distance is 5. And I've also done a more advanced one. So what this thing does is it can find you the tangent to a relation at a given point on the relation. For example, if you want to find the tangent to this circle at 0, 1, it should be y equals 1, right? If we just hit enter, it'll tell you exactly that. The tangent is y equals 1. Okay, so now let's see what I've got in function. Right, so what I did is I made a slightly upgraded version of fmax. For example, and the syntax is the same as the normal fmax. However, the difference is I've got the y value, because you know that normally the fmax thing will only give you the x value, right? So you have to sub back, which is a bit inconvenient, and yeah, giving the y value would be really handy. And what's more is that I've combined the fmax and fmin to create a pseudo range function. Because think about it, if you know the minimum and the maximum, you basically know the range of a function, right? As long as it's continuous. Otherwise, bad stuff happens. Alright, and this hard question folder is the one that I'm still developing. And what this does is it's meant to handle all of these complicated multiple choice questions. So before I tell you what this does, let me introduce you to one type of question that you may get in methods. For example, it is not a very uncommon thing to get a question like this, where it asks you when there will be no solution, one solution, or infinitely many solutions, right? And the standard way to do it would probably to sub m equals 1 back into the function and see what happens, and then sub m equals -1 back into the equation and see what happens then. However, my function basically one-shot this problem. So this is the coefficient matrix, and this is the right-hand side. This is the variable of interest. Then it basically just tells you that where m equals plus and -1, there are going to be no solutions, and for all other values of m, there are going to be exactly one solution. That's quite convenient, isn't it? Alright, so these three aren't made by myself. They're just the default libraries. You can delete them if you like, but maybe leave this one because this may be useful. Maybe. Okay, so in trig, I've just done the basic cosine rule and sine rule. So for example, if you type in, so these are the two side lengths, and this final variable is the angle in between, then it will tell you the length of the third side. So it can save a bit of time. And lastly, but let's talk about vectors. And as many of you know, or will come to know, TI does not have a built-in function to calculate the angle between vectors, which is really sad. However, luckily, you can write your own program to calculate that. So, for example, if you have these two vectors and want to find the angle in between, just use my function and boom. Note that I've also added some additional features so that this is what you can write on your exam paper for the working out. Here is the angle in radians, and this is the angle in degrees. So yeah, basically I don't have to do any work. And lastly, I'll show you what I've got for vector resolute, which is again an important function that TI doesn't have. Yeah, and this is the vector resolute, which you can verify for yourself. Right, so this is a quick run through of most of the programs that I've got, and as I have said earlier, if you think you are interested, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on your notification so that you can see my future videos where I will actually teach you how to make these programs yourself. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.